Welcome to Soups and Sabers. I'm Chris. I'm here alone today because I want to talk to you about DC High Volume Batman. Now, you're probably wondering what that is because I have not run into a single person who has wanted to talk about this subject with me. DC High Volume Batman is DC's official audio drama that they are releasing anywhere you get podcasts. I happen to be listening on Spotify. I think it's an outstanding audio drama that is pretty much a beat for beat adaptation of Frank Miller's Batman Year One. The voice acting by Jason Spizak, who plays Batman, and Jay Paulson, who plays Jim Gordon, is fantastic. I think it gives you a great view into the story from their perspectives. I think they do a fantastic job of giving you the narration that you get out of a comic book that you don't always get in a movie or a TV show. It is like a comic book in your ears. It is near and dear to my soul as a comic book fan. Admittedly, I haven't dusted off Batman Year One, the comic book, in a while, but this is a pretty good and faithful adaptation. I would say it's very on par with the adaptation done on the animated film side, and that one was very ripped out of the, not added a lot to it. I think there are more artistic flourishes in DC High Volume Batman, and the reason I think that is because the voice acting and the creativity with the sounds gives you a little bit of a uh, license to envision it and to see it how you want to see it and to see it how they're presenting it to you. I think it's such a creative and artistic way of showing you what you can be done in the audio space in terms of storytelling. I'm a real big fan of this series, and they're going to be doing The Long Halloween next. They have just finished with Batman Year One, and they're heading into The Long Halloween. So the reason I want to talk to you about DC High Volume so badly is because I think this is a great way for people who are not steeped in comic book lore to get into comic books. I think this is a great way for you to say, okay, I'm not really into comic books yet, but I like the movies or the TV shows. I'm going to get a classic Batman story, a classic Batman comic book story in audio form on my way to work, on a walk, at the gym. I think it's a great way to get into it if you're a little hesitant to, and you might be able to see, okay, this is some cool stuff. Maybe I'll check out the comic books. Maybe I'll check out some other comics. But if you're already into comic books, I think it just adds another way to get your specs. I think it's another way to get the story in there. I think the MVP of this um, production is Jay Paulson playing Jim Gordon, who is just an unbelievable voice actor in this. I think it's such a heart, adds such the heart to the story. I think the important thing about Batman Year One is that it's such a good Gordon story. It's his start off, it's his origin story as far as Gotham is concerned. You know, he's taking a train into town. Barbara is pregnant, and he's going to have a little boy in Gotham City. He sees this corrupt, horrible police force, and he's the diamond in the rough. He's the one good cop, and he is, having to deal with the fact that he's getting a lot of attention, doing a lot of good things. Meanwhile, he has an affair with Sergeant Essen, and this one good cop, this golden boy, has some imperfections and some impurities, which makes him such a balanced character and such a balanced story. And I think it's so good because you're seeing Batman stumble a little bit in the beginning of his career as Batman, and then you get Gordon having his problems there. And I think it leads to such a balanced story where you emerge out of it with two heroes ready to take on Gotham and the never ending battle. So I'm a big fan of what they're doing with this audio drama. Now, they just finished Year One. They're going to be doing The Long Halloween, and it's weekly. The one thing that I don't like about this is the commercials. The commercials in the middle of the episode kind of kill you. You know, when you're taking a walk, you can kind of press forward 10 to 15 seconds, but it really kills the momentum of the episode. They play into it too, just like a TV show before a commercial. I think the commercials go on a little bit longer. You can tell this is a corporate podcast. DC is very into getting their money on that side. And there is a subscription service you can get to have it without ads, and you can also get it a week early, but these release Wednesday, every Wednesday, just like a comic book. They're free to listen to every Wednesday. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's going to be another way to get people into comics, and I think it's going to add to the enjoyment for the comic book community. I think we love to live in these stories. So I really want you to check out DC High Volume. I think it's fantastic because it gives you another way to envision it through the lens of Gordon and Batman, but in a way that we haven't done before with a story we're very familiar with. So, thank you guys for listening to me on this short little review of Batman Year One DC High Volume. And I hope as I go into the long Halloween next week, which happens to be my favorite Batman story of all time, that you'll get into it. And I will periodically update you with my thoughts on the series. I don't think there's a ton to really dive into with year one, other than saying, it goes beat for beat through the story, and it is a really enjoyable adaptation. And if you like what they did with it, let me know. If you want to talk about it on here with me, maybe let me know. Maybe I can get Ron and Jordan into this. But for now, guys, um, stay tuned for Soups and Sabers main show with me, Jordan, and Ron. Gonna have our we're gonna record our Daredevil finale right after coverage right after I'm done here. We're going to have Andor uh, reviews for each episode, but with Jordan and Ron. And you can find us on at Soups and Sabers on Twitter and Blue Sky. And I really hope you continue to check out everything we got going on because we're having a lot of fun. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate this awesome network we have, this awesome show to really bask in the glory of being a nerd. So, with that, I'll bid you adieu. Have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're watching this. See ya.